Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we have a top 10 for you. This is our top 10 favorite gaming accessories. Now, we had way too much overlap, so we just smushed our list together and then argued about how to put that in order.
That's right. Mine are going to be the right ones, and hers are going to be the weird ones.
None of that is true. None of that is true.
No, absolutely. We, as gamers, love our accessories. There is a ton of cool bits and things that you can add into your games to make the experience better for you and your players. And some of it's superficial. Some of it actually does something for the game, play itself. So yeah, let's get into it.
All right, so number 10. Now this one's really funny because we don't actually have this one, but it's super cool when I've seen it.
We have a couple of games have this built in.
Yes, they have it built in, but a Lazy Susan. So something where you can put your game on it and then you can twirl it around. I remember we had this game of Scrabble we used to play with my grandma, and it was built on a Lazy Susan, so you could do your thing and turn it around. But that is so cool for games, so you don't have to get up and walk around and look at to see where everything is when you can actually just move it and see it. Super cool.
Yeah, I've played on a couple oversized Lazy Susans before. Amazing. They're not cheap, and I've wanted to kind of build one, so that's why it's number 10. Eventually, I'll get enough hard work, woodworking skills to build this ourselves.
Yeah.
All right, so number 9, paper and pencil. Seems really, really kind of obvious, or at the same time maybe why is it even related, but I have a drawer right behind me built into our shelving that is within arm's reach of any given time that we play a game it's full of paper and pencils and pens, and we use it constantly, whether it's just keeping track of something, whether it's keeping track of the score, or people want to take notes if we're playing an escape room game or whatever. Yeah. You have at your disposal all paper and pens, and I know that in a lot of when we play RPGs or whatever, you can take notes on those or what items you're carrying or whatever. So you just have tons and tons of paper and pencil at your disposal. You're gonna be good to go.
All right, my number 8 or our number 8, excuse me, are card holders. So these are awesome, especially when you're playing with younger, smaller hands.
Yes.
So when we play any game that involves cards with our kids, we always get these out so that way they can see everything, because they can't spread their cards
fan them out.
Yeah. And so it's extremely helpful. I know the ones that we have also have little bits, but that almost never gets used. It's just that card holder. It is extremely helpful, especially when playing card games with kids.
Yeah, or if you have one of those games where you have a hand of 20 cards and
yes,
it's just you don't have them all,
yes.
having them laid out like that is really nice.
Yeah.
All right, so similar but different. I'm going to talk about card trays. Card trays, essentially, we have there's these stackable card trays. So if you have a game, let's say Firefly.
Yeah.
That's one of the ones we use it for a lot of times. Firefly is a gigantic table hog. The board itself fills up the majority of our table, and there's a ton of bits, and there's tons of different things going on here. But a lot of what drives it is all these cards. You need to have the draw pile and the discard pile for all of them, and it takes up a whole other separate table. Yeah. So as soon as we got these card trays, we essentially were able to stack and make a 3-dimensional version of our table, so we could have more table space. So we have the draw pile on top of the discard pile. When you draw, you do look what you need to do and put the rest in the discard pile. So using those card trays is a huge space saver. It makes everything look a lot nicer. It doesn't actually do anything for the gameplay, but it's definitely a space saver on the table and keeps everything kind of organized.
Yeah. Our number 6 is Spare Dice or Schwazi. We actually don't use that app a lot anymore, but we used to use it all the time. Schwazi is a randomizer.
Randomizer?
Yeah, thanks. And then spare dice are just always nice to have for the same thing. For turn order, yes, we have a ton of spare dice. And then we have also found they work really well for if a piece is missing, you can oftentimes substitute a die for that, or even when you're just turn order, all sorts of stuff. We just literally have this bowl full of spare dice, and we use it a lot more than you think you would.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So especially if there's a game that comes with 2d6s and you have to roll on your turn. And if you can provide everyone at the table with those same 2d6s,
then you're done.
Then you can just go so much faster.
Yeah.
And I know from playing some the Pokemon or Magic, a lot of people use dice as modifiers for your cards and things like that.
So you can keep track of the health and everything.
Yeah, keep track of health, keep track of stats that you've buffed, different things like that. So having spare dice at any given time at your disposal is universally useful.
Yes, very much so.
All right, so the next one is mats.
This is 5.
Number 5. This is our player mats. I used to not be super into these. I thought that were like, unnecessary. I thought they were over the top, that kind of stuff. But then you start playing on some of these mats. We a lot of the Tiny Epic games had like deluxe mats that you could add on.
Yeah.
And they were like basically a version of the board, just with the neoprene mats. They're amazing.
Yes.
So then when Castles of Burgundy made their special edition, it was like, okay, let's get the mat, and it turns out we love it. And then also individual player mats. So, like again, coming back to the CCGs and TCGs, having a couple of spare mats around is really, really nice because a lot of times you're dealing with cards that are hard to pick up at the table, and using those mats makes it kind of personalizes your side of the table, which is really fun to see.
It totally does. Because we were using mats when we went to a Lorcana to play, and I didn't realize how easy it was to pick up the card because it was just super easy as opposed to our table. Oh my gosh. No wonder why everybody was using them.
So you'll be able to kind of customize your side of the board, make it, show off whatever thing that you like is on, but also being able to pick up the cards easily and kind of protects them too because they're usually softer. And when you're playing some of those TCGs, you want to protect your cards because they're dealing with some pretty expensive cards. So player mats have been number 5.
So another way you can protect those cards is my number 4, and that is card sleeves. Oh,
excellent
my
segue.
Gosh. Yeah,
Great job.
I know. We even practiced that. I just did it. But yes, card sleeves. Now, I don't recommend using card sleeves for all of your games. I only recommend using them for games you're gonna go back to a lot, like Love Letter.
Or ones that matters what the back of it is,
Exactly.
like social deduction games or whatever.
Like Coup or Love Letter or something like that really matters what it is, and you know that you're going to get it to the table a lot. I really like being able to use card sleeves, and it also kind of protects your bits against your friends and family. And
not everybody treats cards the same way that gamers treat cards.
It's very true. It's so true. So especially a game that you're going to get to the table often, I would highly recommend this. There's even like a different variety of intensity of card sleeves you can get. So you can get like super cheapo card sleeves, or you can get like super amazing card sleeves. And I'm just a huge fan. And
I've been working on a little bit of game design as well, and having card sleeves available, just having a variety of sizes and styles of card sleeves has come in very, very handy when you're prototyping cards, because you're usually the first couple passes, you don't want to spend the money to get professionally looking, laminated cards and all that stuff. So usually what you're doing is you're taking a piece of paper, printing out whatever base information you need, and that's hard to shuffle. That's hard to deal with.
Yeah.
So what you do is you put in a card sleeve, and then on top of that, to make it a little more sturdy, you tuck like a super common, like a mana or a land from a Magic behind it, so that way it's nice and sturdy. So that way you can shuffle them and they feel and act like actual cards, even though they're just a super early prototype. So card sleeves, very handy to have a bunch of those on hand. All right, one of my favorite board game accessories, obviously it's our top 3, is bit containers.
Yes.
I love bit containers.
Ryan has like a problem with bit containers.
I have so many different like styles of bit containers, and I use them all for different things.
All, yes.
Like I don't know why. It just makes the table so much cleaner. They have like a rounded bottom to them, especially which all the kind of specific board game ones do. You can just scoop a piece off the thing, and if it has like a square bottom, you're trying to get it out, and it's like stuck up against the edge or whatever. You just kind of scoop it out, and you're playing the piece. And when you're done, you're discarding it. You put it right back in the bit tray, and everything is just so much more organized at the table. You can divide them in. If you have a whole bunch of coins, that's the main resource in the game. You can put them into 2 different trays. So that way, side of the table has some, one side of the table has some. Bit trays, I love them. I can't get enough of them.
He really can't. He loves bit trays. He gets so excited whenever there's bits in a game and it doesn't produce its own like tray, because then he gets to bust out our bit tray.
Which one should I use for this game? I do this with my beard too.
Yeah, no, that's true. So our number 2 is TV trays. Now I understand that this won't be applicable to everybody, but it is something that
we thought about this one.
Just a little. I use this all the time. I am a beverage goblin. I like to drink plenty of beverages all the time.
Yeah, it's a problem. But you're like the most hydrated person I know.
I'm a very hydrated person. But anyway, one of the nice things about having a TV tray is when you can have it next to your board, especially when you're playing with multiple people around the table, is you can keep your beverage there, you can keep food there, or even if it's a game that has a lot of stuff going on, you could even maybe do your own resources there, and I absolutely love it. I use it all the time when we play with a lot of people around our table, because that way my stuff isn't in everybody's way, and I can also provide other people the same thing. I love it. I think it's great. I almost never play without one because TV trays are awesome.
It's true. Honestly, we do use TV trays a ton. We have them right next to our game table. And then, those big game nights, we have like one at each corner, like for extra
We don't have
supplies.
Them upstairs where our TV is. We have them in the game room. We've never used it for TV viewing. We've only used them for board games.
Yeah, as like an even more extreme example, we have a secondary table, not just a TV table, an actual extra table in our basement that we use for like we have some food out. It's separate from where our gaming table is, and people can stand up, go grab a snack, and come back to the main table. Yeah. Or if we want to have a little bit of storage, if we want to, like our daughter paints minis, that's where she has her mini painting station.
It's so funny because when we Ryan's sister gave us our table that we have right now, and we always plan on getting rid of the other one, and then
we just kind of moved it out to the side, and then we eventually tear it apart and take it upstairs.
Yeah, but then we used it, so it was like not. It was awesome, and at first, like I'm like, oh, I don't like how it looks, but gosh, it's so freaking useful.
So, TV trays / secondary table.
Yes.
All right. So the number one item is dice trays / dice towers. They serve a similar function, which is a place to roll your dice. Dice trays are very easy to pass around the table, and you can have multiple of them kind of roaming the table. Like I mentioned, if we have if a game requires 2d6s, you can get out extra 2d6s and then everyone have their own place to roll them in, which is really, really nice. Yeah. And we had, for our daughter's 10th birthday, we actually hosted her like a little one-shot RPG.
Yes.
Our brother-in-law did an amazing job.
Running
this
bunch of, like,
10-year-old girls.
Couldn't pay attention whatsoever.
But it was so much fun to give them all their own dice tray to be able to use, and they didn't have to share, move around, or pass, or whatever. It was everyone had their own dice tray to use. And similarly, dice towers, they have a similar function, but they're more like a centerpiece of the table. So you can kind of just put those in the middle. Like we have two of them that we use a lot. One of them is like a bird, like it's really cool, like Edgar Allan Poe style, like tree with the ravens in it, kind of a thing. And then we have another one that is like a tower, like a dungeon-y tower-looking thing. So whenever those things pop up thematically, we put those in the middle of the table. Everybody rolls the dice through those, and then it just really makes the theme kind of more evocative. It looks cool on the table.
Yeah. Well, that is our top 10 list, but we want to hear from you. What's one of your favorite gaming accessories? Is there anything on our list that you really, really agree with? Let us know in the comments below. We want to hear from you.
Yeah, what are we missing out on? What don't we have? What cool gaming accessory that we need in our lives that we didn't even know we needed?
Yeah, let us know in the comments below. Until then, don't forget to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out, and you can find us in all of these places.
You guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
You guys, thanks for watching our shenanigans. As always, we appreciate it. Over here, if you follow this link, you're going to find a playlist we've handcrafted just for you because you watched this video.
And if you check over here, this is a video that YouTube thinks you might like. So you can check that out if you want as well.
All right, we appreciate it, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.